Okay, so let's just jump right in. If you thought the entertainment world has been wild lately, you need to buckle up for 2026. This is shaping up to be more than just another year of movies and shows. It's a pivotal moment. It's the year defined by the grand return, the resurrection of some of the most massive stories we've ever known. We are talking about a full-on industry bet on legacy and the power of pure nostalgia.
And right out of the gate, you can see two totally dominant, almost opposite playbooks. On one side, you've got the mud and blood of Westeros, a story that's actually getting smaller, more intimate. And on the other, you have the absolute chaos of the Marvel multiverse, a story that's about to go bigger than we could have ever imagined. Two completely different strategies, but as you're about to see, they're both aiming for the exact same thing.
So here's the core idea of this whole explainer. Studios are taking the stories you already have a deep connection with, the characters you practically grew up with, and they're weaponizing that love. This is comfort viewing turned into a blockbuster master plan. They're either drilling down deep, making it more personal, more raw, or they're blowing it up to a cosmic, reality-breaking scale.
To really get our heads around what's happening, we're going to break down two perfect case studies that show exactly how this works. First, we're going to take a trip back in time to a very familiar kingdom, and then we're going to jump across dimensions for an all-out cosmic war.
All right, let's start with HBO. They're going back to the well, back to the world that basically defined television for a decade. We are heading back to Westeros, people. But this is not the Game of Thrones you remember, not even close. So the new show drops January 18th. It's called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and it's going to introduce us to two main characters, a humble hedge knight named Sir Duncan the Tall, and his squire, a little kid who goes by Egg. Now, this is all set about 90 years before the Game of Thrones we know, so it's got a totally different vibe.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The showrunner himself, Ira Parker, lays it out perfectly. He says the series is intentionally getting away from all the high court politics and the giant dragon battles. This is a ground-level view of Westeros, all about the struggle of an ordinary guy. Well, an ordinary guy who's not trying to sit on the Iron Throne.
So what does that actually mean in practice? Well, think about it. Where Game of Thrones was about huge armies and the fate of the entire world, this new show is being called a road trip. The focus is shifting from these massive, world-ending stakes to really personal, character-driven stuff. It's a deliberate choice to pivot away from pure spectacle and get back to the story.
In fact, the whole first season is basically built around one single event, a tournament at a place called Ashford Meadow. Our hero, Dunk, he's just trying to survive, maybe make a name for himself. But he runs right into the Targaryen royal family, specifically this really cruel dude, Prince Aerion. And that sets up this super tense conflict between classes, a simple knight versus the insane power of a royal prince.
And that right there, that's the whole ballgame. The engine of the entire series is this small, deeply personal struggle. It's about one man trying to do the right thing, trying to be a true knight, in a world where, let's be honest, power and cruelty usually win.
Okay, now let's do a complete 180. Let's flip the script and look at the total opposite end of the spectrum. Because on the other side of 2026, we've got Marvel, and they are taking every single thread they've ever laid out and weaving it into the biggest, most insane, universe-shattering event you can possibly think of.
I mean, just look at this summer blockbuster lineup. It's an absolute murderer's row of established IP. You know, the stories you already know and love. You've got The Mandalorian, Toy Story, Supergirl, a new Spider-Man. Each one is a monster hit on its own. But really, they're all just the opening act. They're all building momentum toward one single cataclysmic event in December, Avengers Doomsday.
And you can already feel him pulling at the heartstrings. There's this leaked audio from the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer, and it's Tom Holland's Peter Parker dealing with that absolutely heartbreaking ending of No Way Home. So this isn't some fresh start. It's a direct follow-up on the most personal sacrifice we've ever seen a hero make, just to remind us all what's at stake.
But here it is, the twist that defines the entire year. Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. But he is not playing Iron Man. He is returning as the ultimate Marvel bad guy, the multiversal threat himself, Dr. Doom. I mean, this isn't just a fun little cameo. This is the resurrection of one of the most beloved actors in cinema, but in the most shocking role you can imagine. They're turning a cinematic icon into the ultimate villain.
And this version of Doom is, well, he's terrifyingly powerful. We're talking about the ability to warp reality itself, sorcery that can go toe-to-toe with anyone, incredibly advanced multiversal tech, and oh yeah, as they revealed at a Disney Expo, he's also wielding the 10 rings. The power level here is just completely off the charts.
So, who could possibly stand up to a threat like that? The answer is pretty much everyone. The sheer scale of the resistance is just staggering. It's not just the Avengers anymore. It's the new Fantastic Four, the anti-hero team, the Thunderbolts, the long-awaited X-Men, plus the combined forces of Wakanda and Talokan. And with all these rumors flying about legacy returns like Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman, this is shaping up to be the ultimate crossover of all time.
So, we have the small, gritty prequel and the universe-shattering climax. They seem like they're from different planets, right? But here's the thing, they're not. They are two sides of the very same coin. This is the unified strategy for Hollywood in 2026. And this is that grand strategy, weaponizing fan love. HBO is betting that you love the world of Westeros so much that you'll be excited to explore a smaller, deeper, grittier corner of it. Marvel is betting that you love their heroes so much that you'll follow them into a battle that pulls in every franchise they've got. One goes deep, the other goes wide, but both are completely powered by the love you already have for them.
And the absolute peak of this whole strategy happens on December 18th. We're looking at a historic box office collision. In one corner, you have the king of superhero franchises with Avengers Doomsday, and in the other corner, you have the reigning sci-fi epic Dune Part 3. This is going to be a heavyweight title fight for which story dominates our culture.
And it's so important to understand this is not an isolated thing. From Toy Story 5 to The Mandalorian and Grogu, the entire 2026 blockbuster landscape is built on foundations that are already rock solid and beloved. It's a system-wide thing. In this industry, established IP is absolute king.
So, with all of that in mind, what does this actually mean for the future? I mean, where does storytelling even go from here when all the biggest bets are being placed on stories from the past?
The key takeaway here is pretty simple. Established love is now the single most valuable currency in all of Hollywood. The 2026 strategy is sending a crystal clear signal. Give audiences the worlds and characters they are already deeply invested in, but then push the boundaries. Either make it way more intimate and gritty, like Westeros, or make it impossibly epic and world-ending, like Marvel.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final and I think really important question. As studios keep doubling down on these massive, interconnected universes that are built on decades of fandom, what does that mean for the next truly original idea? In a world completely dominated by legacy and resurrection, is there even any room left for something totally new?